Jaja. Welcome, welcome. Ropes, lawful, greetings, welcome. Hope everybody is doing well. It's time to cross over another hurdle. Eagle King, lawful, greetings, welcome. Today we are going to talk about a rather large topic. Because we know, say, there are so many people who don't want to learn, they want to just take action, right? Them no want hear nothing about history, them no want hear nothing about possible solutions to problem. What them want to talk about is when we are going to run out on the road. When them can draw for them peace or them mash it. Them don't realize they want to depend on that. But you know, to each his own. To each his own, but and everybody are going to be on the same page. I always gonna have some people who just in the warmongering. And that is not what we are about over here. Be brave, lawful, greetings, welcome. So we're going to get started shortly. Exactly, Ropes. Peaceful corrections. Hi, Chief. Lawful, greetings, welcome. Now, I just not too long posted a video about our topic today, which is government, right? And I gotta tell you, say, you know, the amount of problems we reach my phone My internet, well, nothing really going on with my computer, but the amount of problems when I encounter trying to post that video 3 times. Beer problem, the internet go down, the phone a restart, TikTok lock up, the video now upload, all kind of problems. But you know, say, this is why it is important to learn that this atmosphere and this reality that we are in, it is based on energy. It is not just you seeing something and you have to go out there and just try your best and start the physical thing. Sometimes it is just the energy. You have to learn how to balance out the energy. You can't be fussy about everything. You see it? And I realize there are some individuals out there who they become very anxious, very disturbed whenever them see a possibility say somebody I got unravel what them a benefit off right now. There are some people who them not like see nobody elevate. Especially if them feel like so them have something where nobody else not have. Them no want nobody a mess with that kind of flow there. No want nobody a mess with it, but you can't keep everybody down all the time. You can't fool all the people all the time. And again, you know, just like anything else, when I try convince nobody, or when I try get everybody attention, because we know say I know everybody headpiece stay up there so. And not everybody headpiece can follow even the basic level when we teach on this channel. Some people, if you're not cuss somebody out, or you're not cuss out somebody, or you're not do some kind of entertaining activity, them brain just can't process nothing else. Them just get, them have to depend on the doom scrolling. Just constant dopamine for the brain. It has become an addiction. But we don't have to talk about that. For the people who actually have some sense, and them brain can process information, and you can learn something and progress from this. Because again, like we said many times, action without intelligence is death. We say it again. You're always going to lose. Action without intelligence is detriment. You can't move forward in a life just so. The neurons them in your brain have to change. The frequency where you're depend have to change. The intellectual ability where you have to change. It is the changing of the mind that changes the reality. You can't physically go out there and try change what you see. It is almost impossible. I'm not going to say impossible. It is almost impossible. It takes a change of the mind first before you start seeing the reality what you expect. And just like we see people all the time, all them concerned about is what we are gonna do, what we are gonna do next, how this are gonna work, how this are, no worry about that. You can't worry about progress when time you don't even know the basics. So what we are gonna talk about today is what is government. Now I went over this on my page a little bit earlier. And we know so there is always going to be people in the comment section where them just don't know what go on. Them probably listen to maybe 10 to 30 seconds and then they run to the comment section and start comment. So that's why I go explain more on this live for those who have the attention span feet. See? Again, for those of you who have been on the lives, exactly, High Chief. For those of you who have been on the lives, for those of you who have been learning, for those of you who have been taking heed. Remember, you know, we say we're past stage 1. We're at stage 2 now. Stage 2 is awareness. Stage 2 is awareness. Without the awareness, it does not make sense to go to stage 3. Let me say it again. Without the knowledge and awareness, it no makes sense we go to stage 3. Sabek, lawful, greetings, welcome. So that's why we say knowledge first, understanding first, intelligence first, comprehension first. If you don't know the pitfalls and the problem them we face the people them will come before you, what you think are going to happen when time certain situation come and you don't know say somebody did already do that or try that already. What you think are going to happen? Problem. So the intelligence need to be there. Alright? So what is government? Anybody who maybe not watch the video yet from my page, what do you think government is? You can drop it in the chat or you can click in the box and come up. What is government to you? What do you think government is? Okay, we hear people all the time. I say, the police, I'm a public servant. Right? Those in government office are public servant or public officials. What you think government is? Drop it in the chat. And then we're gonna do a deep dive. Damien, lawful, greetings, welcome. BB369 say, government is control the mind. Okay. Subject say government are God. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Anybody else? What you think government mean to you? Don't look it up in on the run go Google. Just in your common sense thinking. What you think government mean? Bush said government is the people. Subek said God, government ordinance department. Now, caution here. A word cannot describe itself. The only word that describes itself is orange. Orange is orange. That's it. Any other word, you have to use other terms to describe what you're trying to say. Control of the people, self-rule as an individual. Okay. Now, those are interesting, you know. Those are interesting. But here we are going, you know. Nick JA 2.0 say servants of the people. So that's what we think government is, right? Lucian said government is a body of people who are controlled by the few to handle the masses. Interesting. Mark Virus said legal scammer. Splendid as a government oppressor. Alright. Now, while those are what we think, you know. Those are what we think. But let us see what the government actually think. Or what the government actually do. And describe themselves as. Alright. So, like we head over to the computer. Remember, you know, Jamaica don't have its own sovereign government. This is the only time I go talk about sovereignty because so much time people say they are supposed to protect your property and your rights. So many times people ask me to talk about sovereignty. And up to this moment, I decline to talk about it because it is just a passing question when people ask that. Now we have the context where we can talk about these things when you say sovereignty, because I explained it in short before, but we are going to go into it deeper today. Zine? Remember, you know, Jamaica don't have its own government system. Jamaica is not sovereign. The island itself is not sovereign. When they say sovereign or sovereignty, the sovereign government is the crown. The crown is who expresses ultimate authority over Jamaica, right? So this is the UK Parliament website, and this is their definition of what government is. It said the government runs the country and has responsibility for developing and implementing policy and for drafting laws. Let me read that again for you. The government runs the country and has responsibility for developing and implementing policy and for drafting laws. It not have nothing to do with no people. It not have nothing to do with no servant. It not have nothing to do with them doing what we said them to do. It is also known as the executive. Now, people, when we talk about the three branches of government, you're supposed to have three branches of government. What the government just say? The government runs the country and has responsibility for developing and implementing policy and for drafting laws. It is also known as the executive. Now, this is disturbing, you know, but it's not disturbing as yet. Executive means they execute the law, right? So you're supposed to have a department that execute the law, a department that draft policy and law, and a department that administers justice in the courts. Those are the three different forms or parts or arms of government, right? But here it is saying that it is also known as the executive, meaning they are enforcing their own policy and rules, which them call laws. The government is usually formed by the party that gains the most seats in the House of Commons at a general election. Does that sound familiar? It is headed by the Prime Minister who appoints government ministers. Does that sound familiar? Members of the government sit in Parliament and are accountable to it. Does that sound familiar? Government departments and their agencies are responsible for putting government policy into practice. So the question is, we just had all of us, or those who participated in the comment section, we just describe what we think government is. Is anybody right? Was anybody correct when they describe what they think government is? Absolutely not. The government now have nothing to do with the people. The government basically is, you can say, just a rulership class. So the rulership class just rule and they are immune to prosecution. You can't prosecute them for anything they do in a government. And the Constitution itself says this. The Constitution, I'll pull it up too. Because we know sometimes some people are saying, what them talk about? What them talk about? Constitution, 1962. Right? I'll go down to 48, right? This is the Constitution, Order in Council 1962, Section 48.3. What it say? No civil or criminal proceeding may be instituted against any member of either house. None. None. So you can't sue them. You can't bring them to court for anything with them right, for any law with them pass. They are immune to prosecution. Unless they come out and do civil crimes outside of parliament, then can't go to jail for right law. It no matter how bad it is. Alright, we got JV coming up in the box. You're up. Let us talk about it. JV. Alright, JV not ready yet. If you're going to tap in the box, you have to be ready. Alright, Andre, you're up. If you're still there. Let's see if Andre ready. Andre. Alright, Andre not ready either. Alright. So, we know say them can't go to jail. We know say the man a public servant because them declare say they are not. Right? And we know say a UK parliament everything I come from because our highest court in Jamaica is what? The Privy Council, which is in the United Kingdom. Right? So we don't explain number 4 over here, so okay. For the duration of any session, members of both houses shall enjoy freedom from arrest for any civil debt except a debt the contraction of which constitute a criminal offense. So, what kind of debt constitutes a criminal offense? That would mean a court sentence. That would mean a violation of an order of a court. Those things are criminal, right? But if it's just them owe somebody out a road, like credit or property or whatever, then can't come in a parliament come bother them about no civil debt, right? So that is what this means. Unless it's a criminal offense, nobody can come in a parliament and get them for nothing. And the same thing goes, see, it explains it more in a number 5. No process issued by any court in the exercise of a civil jurisdiction shall be served or executed within the precincts of either house while such house is in sitting or through the president or the speaker or the clerk or any other officer of the house. So once it's a civil matter, you have to wait until them done do what them do a parliament. If it's criminal, then of course the police can go in there and do whatever, but highly unlikely that the police are go in there, go try arrest anyone or to serve anyone papers when parliament is sitting. Highly unlikely. Right? So, when we talk about what is government, right? The same goes for the police. The police is a part of the government, but the police is a special arm of the government. The police is really supposed to be the enforcement or the executive branch, right? But here we have the police is there to serve the sovereign lady, the queen. In this case, the people don't have to vote and rise up anytime we want to make changes. Exactly. But we soon get into that. So the police take an oath to the queen. They don't take an oath to Jamaica. They don't take an oath to the people. They don't take an oath to serve anyone but the queen. So when you hear them say you committed an offense, the offense they are referring to is you did something to offend the queen. It is not necessarily just criminal law. It is because you did something that the queen doesn't like. If the queen says, "I don't like this, make this a criminal offense," that is what happens. So that is what they are executing when them out there say, "Oh, you commit an offense. Oh, you broke the law." it is in relation to the Queen, not necessarily what is in Parliament. So, when we look at these things and we see how they describe the system of government, the question is going to come back around to this, right? Your idea that those in public office, as you call it, or as we call it, that they are public servants and them supposed to answer to we. And when time we demand that they stop doing something, when we demand certain things that they are supposed to recognize and they're supposed to do this and they're supposed to do that. Right? You are sadly mistaken. And the ignorance of that fact does not excuse you from the consequences. The consequences of being in a colonial system and demanding things of a people's style government. You are just basically, it's almost like you play football, but you think of cricket. People are going to run past you all the time and you don't know what going on. You wonder, how come them a play cricket and nobody no have a ball in them hand? You're in the wrong ball game. This is why I say knowledge first. I know we just talk. You can see it for yourself. This is not fairy tale. This is not something we have to go dig up and do far-reaching research and try connect that's this and that. It is plainly in front of your face. Those in public office in Jamaica, and now people public office them in the public office for the crown, for the king, the queen, and the so-called royal family that is running the colonial system. Country boy say, so if I don't recognize the king as my king, why should I do anything the law says? All right, let us explore that question. Let me ask you a question. This question is for Country boy. Do you have anything that belongs to the government? Have you filled out a form and signed it and submitted a JP picture to get some kind of identification, some kind of privilege, some kind of access, some kind of identification card? Have you done any of these things? Do you have in your possession one of these government documents? You see, it is not just about speaking about it. It is recognizing that we have entered into these contracts. Exactly, Kwako. Mark Virus here for them land. No, it is not. Absolutely not. This is why they don't have an active presence here. It's the presence in Jamaica is called a proxy presence. The crown does not rule on the land directly. It rules by proxy. And it rules by ignorance too. Because you see, when you don't know them something, yeah, you don't know say one solution can work. You see what I say? Like, when you can formulate and you can see the bigger picture, then you can start formulate and realize the other solutions that are coming. The wind's dad, lawful greeting. If you not comprehend them basics something here, because like me say, enough of them something are basics. But people now go get up out of them way and just go look for them something here. Right? But as me say, if you have anything from the government, if you sign a contract with the government, you never revoke it. You never return it. You still have them things. Then how you going to say the law not apply to you? Because you don't recognize the king or you don't recognize the queen. If you don't recognize them, what you do with them things? You have a driver license, you have a voter ID, you have a passport, you have anything from the government. What you do with it then? I know fear. I know you make it. So how is it you're gonna say you don't recognize them authority? I hope that start to make sense. If you have people things, there is always a price to pay. It is called fair compensation for the use of something that is not yours. That is called taxes. You know, pay tax because it a pay for the public services. That is nonsense. Yeah, pay tax because you use people things. The system of law are who for one. The system of the courts are who for one. The system of the parliament are who for one. Exactly. Mark Virus said, and you have to pay for it too. When you sign a contract, you give up something, you know. And you continually pay and give up something. The government never give up nothing to you yet in a value. Hey, wanna be cordial in the comments. Verona, you're up. Alright, look like that was a fat finger. So, the first thing we have to realize is that you don't just get up and make some of these decisions because you're not going to think about the consequences of what you do. Like sometimes, when we get some question and I tell you I can't really go in a certain conversation because there are a lot of background information that you have to be privy of before you take certain actions. Like somebody that say, well, if I the driver license, I cause them to stop my car and the license plate to them give where them I say, well, I feed them one so them can do whatever they want with it at all times. What if me send it back and what if me not have the license? You see, the problem here is that would be called a drastic decision. Why? Because you need an alternative. You cannot be a rebel to a system and still have to interface with it. Excuse me. We're going to talk about another problem. We face the entire world. Only one country successfully break away from colonialism. I'm going to say that again. Only one country successfully break away from colonialism. We're not going to talk about that right now. What we're going to talk about it is this. You see, when time them decide say them are going to explore places. People, let me explain something first. You know, say, I know a long time ago, them have slavery and colonialism. I talk about the British side of thing. You realize, say, 400 years is not a long time. That is literally about maybe 8 generations of people. 8. It never reached your 2 on them yet. 8 generations of people ago, we had slavery. If we are say, let's say we call it 50 years each. You think it's a long time ago that? So, what was even there before them say them a colonize and do whatever? The real purpose of government, and colonization. Should I even get there? Should we even talk about this? We don't want to go too off topic, you know. We don't want to go too off topic. You see, we as brown people, signatories. I don't know what I talk. We as brown people go through this already. You see this whole captivity thing, see this whole lock up people in a jail, you see this whole government thing, you see this whole trying to control everything. This are all news to we. We passed the whole of them stage already. Country boy say, so what is the solution to break away from this system that we are plugged into? Just go and listen and learn. You see, the question we ask country boy is not irrelevant, you know, but it requires context and it needs foundation. What we mean by that? We mean say, when you ask certain question, it have so many things below it. It's like when you build a house, you can't just start block up and start put on board and them something that will blow away, or it will shake down and mash down. The least little movement of the ground, it mash up. That is the same way you build knowledge. Those questions, even if me give you the answer, it not gonna make sense to you without foundation. You see it? So just go and hold your arses. The whole of them something I was going before. We done pass through it long time. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by we brown people pass through this long time? In Europe, before the white people them get civilized, that is not even the true word. You will hear this term thrown around all the time. But it was not making them civilized. That was not the correct word. We were making them human. They are a shade of man. So them name human. In order to make them a shade of man because they were acting like animals, we had to teach them. We did have to take them out of them ignorance when it comes to life. What I mean by that? Again, people, this is context. This is context. This is not trying to change your mind from what you might already believe. Zin? When we train them to stop crawl upon them, and a matter of fact, there is a movie called, wait name? When the name come to me, I will share it. Them love crawl upon them and you see like how them love call with monkey? Them only call with that because that is who they most resembled and them no want the shame of it. Did you know that to this day there are light people, or not even say light people, but let's call them what they are, Caucasians. Many of them are still born with something called a tailbone. How many of you know that white people, many of them, not all, many of them are born with a tail. Yes, like a monkey tail round at the back of your backside. Yes, round there so. Them born with a tailbone. So, it's not a question about factual things. This is one of the reasons why them have basically have them own hospital, and that's why them shield off everything so you can't see what going on. You never, when the last time you see one movie where you see white people in the hospital that have baby? Anyways, when I stray off our topic. So you see when time them used to crawl upon them hand. Them used to deal with animals. Them used to eat raw meat. And they still do. All of them something here, them still do it. Them used to basically defecate in a one place, and right next to it are where them eat. Them used to have animal as them friend. Instead of having each other and try to build a community and have a family unit, them used to use the animal them and stay with the animal them. Both the man and the woman them. So when we as Moors, some people are going to call them Muslim, them are going to call them whatever. When we brown people see the condition where them are living in, we teach them how to be what we call human. At that time, when we see how them live, we did done build empire long time. We did done rule kingdoms long time. We did done fight war long time. We did done have banking system long time. We don't have gold long time. We don't have all kind of things long time. When me say long time, it would have come in like we grow up as adults here now, and we are look for one baby, and the baby has struggled to understand what go on. That are literally if you want to talk about a lifetime worth of things, that are literally what go on. Let me give you an example of how you can verify and validate what I just tell you a while ago. Pick a sport where they make black people get into and we not dominate it. Pick an activity where they make brown people participate in and we not dominate it. Pick one. The only thing we not dominate are things that we not want to do. Brother, the brown people not doing the ice fishing. We don't want to do that. And trust me, if we make up our mind if we gonna do it, we are gonna do it better. Swimming. Brother, remember me tell you say, because we don't take them something serious. Remember me tell you say, because we don't take them something serious. If you even realize the amount of contribution which Jamaica make to the world, you wouldn't believe. For those of you who not study history and go back in the history book them and the paper them, just Jamaica alone contributes so much to the world. And we have been held back. Them put you in the back of the class. Them start run the race and reach 3/4 of the way and we still run past them same way. We don't have the resources. We don't have the luxury of the technologies. We don't have the support. The only thing we have, what we can say, it rival many places, is the education. Now, people will say the education in Jamaica is not that great. Me I go tell you this, and me can talk from personal experience. when me did younger and me leave high school in our 10th grade. When me leave high school and go America. When me encounter in a school, we done pass a primary school. Remember, you know, me leave when time in a high school. And when me reach there and them put me in a school. It's something them when them a learn a primary school work that. By the time I reach a college, me couldn't believe say people that in a college, if you make it that far, you think say, alright. Yeah man, them must have some intellect why them reach so far. I know that. You just need the money. You just need the money to get people in a school in America. Enough of them can't read. And you can see it on the internet too. You see them interview both girl and man. Them ask them to read a simple sentence and then can't read it, then can't break down words, them can't do certain things. The education in Jamaica is superior. It is just the opportunities after education that people can't find. Okay? So back to this whole human thing. We did done do all of them something there already. So you see, in a today's society, when time enough things not bother we know. If we decide say, alright, we are gonna make it, we are gonna sacrifice and we are gonna do this and do that and get things done. We are still being oppressed today. Because we don't have the same opportunities like other people have. But yet still, we still find peace and happiness to do whole heap of things. So when time we go over there and teach them for bathe, we teach them to keep them feces and them different things in a different place, somewhere distance from where them eat. We teach them how to build house. We teach them about government. We teach them about laws. We teach them about war. War was the last thing we teach them. We teach them about economics. We teach them about travel. We teach them about trading. A lot of the movies that are out there, like old movie, where them show you say the British them go out and them try civilize people and you know some of them go back to them ways and all them something there. That was their story them a tell backwards. Where them a show you in a movie, I know where them write, I know what in a written history. A lot of it is backwards. When we don't teach them certain things, them go back and go do what them did do before. Did you know that much of the diseases that we have even today originated from the white people them I sleep with animal and I eat raw food and I do all kind of contamination and I saw it pass on? All diseases that we have are not natural. All of them, they are manufactured or they come from nasty. I got Egypt already. I'm going to the library at Alexandria. And when time I see the volume of the archive of books where did they, my brain goes so. Just the amount of knowledge where they still know in Africa. I mean, I talk about this something when you see on YouTube. Enough of the knowledge still there in Africa right now. Still there. They burnt 87% of the books and the manuscripts. Because them realize say, if, remember the Romans, the Greeks, the French, all of them, even Spain, all of them learned from Africans, Egyptians, and those people and those institutions on the African continent. When they realize that they can't conquer people when know themselves, they can't conquer people where them already established civilization. So where you going to teach them, say? Where you going to offer them? Even in them writing, them go back and them say what? There is nothing that we can offer these people because they already have everything. Them no want no medicine. Them no want your little basic food where you think you have. They no want your economics. They no want nothing. So you can't entice them to give up anything because them already know not only who they are but what they have. So you see, because we in a way benevolent nature, we pass through the war stage, so we're at a peaceful stage now. We decide, say, we are going to teach them the ways of the past that did not work. You hear me say? The ways of the past that did not work. So we teach them about war. And a part of that teaching is also taught in the art of war. If you ever hear the book, The Art of War, the Moors them get a lot of those teachings from. The Chinese them and the Moors them teach them. All of these European places, China, Russia, all of them placed in Europe, if you go and look at their records, they all have black history behind them. And because enough of we don't like all coal, we don't stay at them place there. And we talk about this before on the channel. If you go and look at the map and look at how small Europe is, look how small England, Spain, France, if you look how small those places are, it is almost impossible to think. Let me show you now. I'm going to show you now where I talk. We're going to pull up the map. I'm going to show you something. For those of you who missed it a couple months ago when we talk about it, I'm going to show you. This is the map, right? So, you see we have the United States, basically North America over here, so, right? You see how far Jamaica there? Alright. Now, if we look across the Atlantic, right? And we look. You see what they are, so? You see what they are, so? Morocco. You know, see Africa this, right? Anyways. So see we have United States and Caribbean over there, so? And see we have Europe over here, so? Right? France. Right? United Kingdom up here, so? Battery not charge. Alright. See we have United Kingdom up here, so you know. See we have France down here, so you know. See we have Ireland here, so. See we got Spain down here, so. Right? See we have Italy all the way over here, so. Now let me ask you a question. You see how little bit United Kingdom is? And you see how little bit Spain is. Them basically are the same size when you consider circumference. Right? This just look longer. So you see UK, right? And you see Spain. Now look over here, so. You want to tell me say then conquer all of this? People, this makes sense to you, no? The sheer size at this, and this was not even half populated at the time. Them two little players, a matter of fact, are only one at a time, because even though the king of either the king of UK at the time and the queen of Spain, I think the king of Spain and queen of UK, them get married at one point, right? But even with their forces combined, you want to tell me, say, this big hell of a place that was populated, them just run through it, the whole of this, and down here so too? This makes sense to anybody? And we're not talking about savages. We're talking about people who already have their own civilization. All right, Dexter, you're up. Dexter.
I join your live, sir.
Okay. All right. So, when them say them conquer all of this is United States also, right? The whole of this. They say them conquer the whole of this and down here so, and all of these places, this was only on paper. There is absolutely no way this tiny little place that was not fully populated I go conquer the whole of this. And down here so. There is not enough gunpowder you can make over here so. If you go over here so and shoot up everybody. None of it no make no sense. It don't go make sense on paper. The only thing where the problem makes sense is that them take some parts of the coastline in a very strategic places. Maybe New York and down at Delaware, down here so and them place here. But for them come all the way down here so and I talk about them conquer this and them did I do this and that and whatever. Garbage. Garbage. Whether it won't be today or it won't be 500 years ago. That was never reality. But when we teach them to stop living in a cave, this is why we teach them how to build. Because they were living in caves. They might look for anywhere natural where they not have to do no work. They might live like animals where they live off of nature. They not even did have shed. So after we don't teach them all these things and teach them the last thing, which is the art of war, that is what they were interested in. After they learn how to start wear clothes, then learn how to sanitize themselves, then learn to them how to bathe, then learn to them how to cook them food, then can't just eat the raw meat. That is where you get all of these tapeworms and these parasites and all these different things in the body. Right? The only thing with them love was war. War and plunder. And that is what they continued with. They had superior weapons. What weapons? What weapons do you think they had? Again, you know, people, this is not speculation. But we're not going to go into even American history. We're going to talk about Jamaica right now. Because that will turn into a larger conversation. Them never have no superior weapon. It was just one set of weapon at the time. And then could not necessarily do a lot with that. A lot of it was on paper. What if the people them were dead are because of the disease them with them carry with them. Remember, you know, them go back to them always. Even though we teach them say if stop do certain things. Stop sleep with them family member. Stop sleep with animals. Stop eat raw meat. Stop eat and shit at the same place. Start doing things that are economical and stop try to use the easiest way out. Them never stop. To this day, they will eat raw chicken. To this day, they will eat raw beef and raw pork. What then call it? Allow me to tell? Am I lying? When them decide, say, they want a really good meal, what they eat? Even when they make mashed potato and steak, the mashed potato no cook all the way. It have a little toughy. It have a little raw. With the steak, have a raw. Steak tata. So it is not a matter of them not know if to do better. It is a matter that they can't help it because them so addicted to. It is not just the meat they're addicted to. It is the blood. But when I talk about that, we are go far off a topic. We are go far off a topic. The government system and structure where we already know and we used to set up long time. We teach that to them. We teach them trading and we teach them international trading. We are called trading on the seas, where people come to know as maritime law. Right? And them say, you will hear people talk about maritime law in the courts and all them something there. Not necessarily true. But anyways, we teach them all of them something there. That is why them use it against us. But the only way they could have used it against us. Does anybody know how they use it against us? How do they use our own knowledge against us? If we don't want nothing. If we don't need anything, right? And we are living in basically peacetime. We don't have no reason for war. How can you get a people who are peaceful, them no want nothing? How can you get them in a state of disarray? And it's a very simple answer, you know. You start a war. You have to start a war. You have to take them from one place as prisoner and carry them go somewhere else where they don't know what the language is. They don't know what you are saying. So therefore, what happened now? What happened? The only thing we take over our sign language down. I tell you, say, all right, you have to do that. Then show you something, you have to do it and whatever, right? But not only that. If you don't know a language, who is going to learn that language? You're pitting them. Children are sponges, don't. A parent can their own people and them don't know a language. But you see, as soon as that pitney start grow in that environment, the pitney is going to take up the language and the customs of where they are. That's our catch we. And these are things that we teach them, you know. If you take someone from a place, let's say a Spanish-speaking individual, and you carry them over one English-speaking place, you just want them there long enough so them start have picnic. Then it's over. The picnic them go rooted in that place. That is how they do it. So then just mix and match people from different places. So everybody confused. So when time them start war on them something there, it is easy to get people on their side. It is easy to build their ranks. It is easy to control the general masses. And this is why it come back to this is why them no want black people stay by themselves. Did you notice that every other nation of people, them stick by themselves? Them stay by themselves and them have power as a people? You notice? Any people who stay by themselves, them have power in numbers, power in a group. But if they are influenced by an outsider, influenced by some other force, it is to their detriment. The very life force of that group of people is going to be drained, is going to be sucked out by that external force. And that is exactly what happens when you use people things, when you use people language, when you use people trinkets, when you use people symbols, when you use people things in general. You lose. You have to lose. Because there is a price to pay. It is called taxes. Right? So, when we talk about government is something that is not defined by the institution. It is defined by the rulership. But something interesting happened in the case of Jamaica. Something interesting happened. See, now the case of Jamaica, slavery was abolished a long time ago. And when slavery was abolished, them realized that the people themselves did not have enough knowledge to bring themselves up. What does that mean? The people them who were now freed, they did not realize the power they have. So now they got recaptured. No more chains around your feet. No more chains around your hands. No more chains around your neck. Now, you are dependent. You don't know how a system is supposed to work. You don't know how to build your army. You don't know how to build your own police force. So, how are you going to run a country? So now, you are still dependent on someone or something to assist you along the way. And while assisting you, you have to pay a fee. All right, Andy, you're up. Andy.
Yeah, I'm there. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
I listen still.
Yeah. So, even though, all right, TG1, you're up. TG1.
Yeah, my boss. Night.
Night.
Long time me wait for you to touch a topic here, you know, because I have a knowledge about this madness, you know, my brother. So,
Yeah.
but just I go and sit in and make you do your thing with general.
All right. Big up.
Big up.
All right. So, while we are free, you notice the terminology, while we are free, the knowledge to remain free has not been activated yet. Let me say that again. While we are free to roam and move about. The knowledge to activate that freedom has not been activated just yet. What do I mean by that? What I mean by we're free, but the knowledge where we exercise the freedom not did there yet. What I mean by that? It means that we're free, but we don't do anything a free people will do. We have not formed a government for ourselves as a people. We have not written any laws as a people. We not build no institution yet as a people. What I mean by institution? We not build no courthouse. We not build no tax office. We not build no part of what we would call a government. We still not exercise with freeness yet. We still not come together as a people yet because we not realize that we're free. What we have been tricked into doing is giving up our freeness, our ability to remain free, in exchange for convenience. Let me explain what I mean by that. In 1962, when two major things happened. A lot of things happened in a 61 and 62, but there are two major things happened that you are possibly aware of. One, independence was declared, right? And by now, you will have known, if you have been taking in the information that I have been sharing, you will know that independence was simply the government branching off from the British Parliament into its own bubble, which is still in the British Commonwealth, called Jamaica. That's one. Number two, we had a constitution that was created that was supposed to be post-colonial, meaning after colonialism was abolished or abandoned, we were supposed to write our own constitution. But what actually happened? Does anybody know who wrote the Jamaica Constitution? And we're going to bring it up too. We're going to bring it up. But does any of you know, do any of you know who are the writers of the Jamaica Constitution? All right, High Chief, you're up. While we get some comments in.
Grand Rising, lawful.
Greetings, lawful. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. All right, so at the first never there on your life so long, as in from start to over there. Like first never catch it before we didn't start. And there's a lot to say, but let me just say this.
Yeah.
I've heard you preach this basically over and over. It starts with edifying ourselves.
Right.
Once we edify ourselves, then we can create the system and structures. And you said it earlier, right? Oh, you're back. Yeah, man. You said it earlier. Slavery was abolished via and we got our freedom via the treaty. and I've preached this over and over, because our people didn't have the knowledge to create the structures, the systems, the institutions, as you say, it never happened. So what happened? Britain sat over there and look and say, listen, we let them go, but she say them no know what to do. Say, here what? Write a order and call it constitution and give to them and declare independence, which me and you know we don't celebrate that because that is rubbish.
Right.
Yeah? And then now they create the system to separate the people. So what you are doing here, and I've always applauded and I will continue to applaud you, you are doing the work of the ancestors, bringing the people them back to the original thing, bringing the people them back to a place where they can learn what their real position is and how they can take charge of their own destiny. Because right now, the people's destiny is in the hands of politicians, and the politicians them don't really care. We have seen this over and over and over again. So, continue to do the good work what you do. Me I go always do over here once me have the time. You know what I mean? And people want to pay attention to where the general are teach, because this is knowledge we're going to save the future generations them. Lawful.
Zane, yeah man, big up, laugh up, always. Alright. So who do we think write the constitution? We have a couple of comments here. We don't have any constitution. Well, that is debatable. The colonizers wrote it. Willie Lynch, the Queen, the Queen. Alright. So, we have the people. Let us take a look at the official record. Because, like we said before, we don't go by opinions over here. We talk about facts. That's it. So, we don't get emotionally charged about what should be or what could have been. We talk about facts that we can verify. And anything that I say, you can always go and look it up yourself. I may not show every single piece of detail, but I always speak from something that can be verified. And much of it I show on this channel. There are certain things I cannot show you because they will shut down my page. I have had pages before where I go too far with the information and they have shut it down. So I have to be careful on how and what information I share here. So all I am sharing is stuff that are in the public and things that will not get my page in problems. And surprisingly, the agents are not out today. But let's take a look at what they say, or who they say wrote the Constitution. The Order in Council 1962. So, if we look at, a matter of fact, this is on the JIS website. For those of you wondering, right? So you can go to the JIS website, you can go to the government page on the Constitution, right? If you scroll down, you will see a link called the Architects of the Jamaica Constitution. So you click on that. And here it has the document outlining in summary who they say wrote the Jamaica Constitution, right? Now, if you scroll down, you don't have to read through these fine prints necessarily. You can see the faces, right? And on the left side, you will have the description of what contribution each of these individuals had as it relates to the Constitution. So, the first individual here is Marcus Garvey. Now, we know that Marcus Garvey had nothing to do with the Constitution itself. But it says here, Garvey's vision of self-governance was captured and made a reality by the founding fathers. The Right Excellency Norman Manley, who had a passion for equality and justice, and the Right Excellency Sir Alexander Bustamante, Jamaica's first Prime Minister, who was a staunch advocate for workers' rights. Now, I don't agree with these descriptions, but that is what they are saying, right? So we have inspiration from Marcus Garvey, which if in fact Garvey's inspiration was taken into account properly, we would not have any colonial remnants of a so-called government that was prior to that rule. Okay? So then they start list the different Europeans who were on the island, who were basically governors and agents of the British Crown. And we call them prime ministers, and we call them, again, they are prime ministers. They were prime ministers. But again, prime ministers are members of an institution created by the British Crown. Right? It is a fact. I am not stating anything opinionated. It is a fact. Right? Now, down here is where we start getting into some faces we might not be familiar with. Right? This individual here, so, was part of a bipartisan joint select committee, right? And this was, again, politically motivated. All of this that we see here, all of these individuals are the crafters, right? Here we have Sir Honorable Howard Cook, right? And here we have Rudolph Burke, right? And you go down, we have other people who are, I guess you can say, on the educational plateau. You go down here, so you have a general, right? You go over here, so again, you have a JP. You go down here, so it looks like what one would think are regular individuals. They are not. This is the Minister of Trade and Industry and Deputy Mayor. This individual was a member of the Joint Independent Constitution Committee, right? And she was a part of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation. And if you have been following this page long enough, you will know exactly what they have done with that Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation or municipal corporation. Here we have Manley. Here we have another member of parliament. At that time, it was the Federation of the West Indies Parliament. This individual was a member. Let's scroll down again. See, we have Mr. Sangster. We have Mr. Siaga. Now, we go through all of these people, right? All of these people we see who contributed to the Constitution. Do we see any everyday Jamaicans on this list? Do we see any regular people we could have considered to say everyday individuals come together and say, yeah man, we want this tonight or we want that tonight? The only regular individual you can possibly see on this list is at the very top, Garvey. And he did not directly contribute to anything. They just draw inspiration, so-called inspiration from him. But yet still we did not use the actual self-governance vision that he had. That constitution that was drafted had nothing to do with self-governance. So the question is, where are the individuals from the public who were supposed to be drafting and approving and saying, these are the problems we have, so these are the rights that we need to be enumerated, or these are the things that we want in law, or these are the things that we find important to our nation? Where them there? All of these people are either members of parliament, members of some professional organization, some political affiliation, some in some way associated with the crown. So this is another reason why we can't say we have a constitution. We can't. It is not ours. It was never meant to be ours. It was always, from the day it was crafted until this day, where you see that video here, it was always a colonial construct. We, the people, don't have any constitution. That is correct. But that is only partially correct, because we actually have one right now. We have been drafting a constitution, so technically right now, as we speak, we have one. It just has not been activated yet. But before, again, knowledge comes first though. Before we can activate a constitution of such, we have to have the knowledge. No, not my own. Because I know me come up with all the ideas them for putting it. Much of it come from everybody who are depend the live and submit things and all of that. So, now that we know that nobody from the public no contribute to that so-called constitution, that order that was given from the crown. None of we no contribute, none of we none of we parents nor grandparents never have nothing at all to do with the decisions when it comes down to passing or making that constitution law. So, we are use people things and no fear we. It never make fear we. It make as a cage to keep we inner. Why we say that? We are going to go to some documentation again. Right? We are going to go to some more documentation because we have to make sure say we qualify what we are saying, right? "99% of the people don't know the Constitution. It wasn't meant for the people." That's right. I feel proud of the work you and the others have done to draft our first native constitution. Yeah, man. Lawful, always. Now, let us take a look at why it was never ever meant for us. This again is the Order in Council 1962, right? See it right there, so. What we call the Constitution, don't. This is section 4, or you can say chapter 4, right? Here it says, all laws which are in force in Jamaica immediately before the appointed day. What does this mean? This means all of the colonial laws that were in force before them put the Constitution into power, right? So all laws which are in force in Jamaica immediately before the appointed day, which is what? August 1962. Subject to amendment or repeal by the authority having power to amend or repeal any such law. So it says, so basically all laws in force and effect immediately before the appointed day shall continue in force on or after that day. Wanna see why? Yeah, man, Ranji, big up yourself. And Pobal. Yeah, man, big up yourself. Lawful. So, all of the colonial laws that were in force before they passed this thing called the Constitution, them take it from the past and then put it. It's almost like you make one fence to keep out wolf from the sheep. And when you make the fence, you tell the wolf them to come. So you take up a whole of them and put them in the same cage where you have the sheep. No different. It's almost like you have one glass of dirty water and you throw out the whole of the water and you put some dirt in it, and now you throw clean water in a glass with the dirt in the bottom. How are you going to claim independence? And how are you going to claim that you now have a free nation of people? And you are going to take all of the laws that the people have been complaining about from ancient times till now, and you are going to now say all of those laws that were in force before, you are bringing them forward, so they are going to continue in force. The only difference is that now we're going to say you have some rights, you have some protections, you can be a citizen. That's it. So nothing really change. You're just independent. No more British crown. But you see, because nobody now read that hell of a document, 164 page. A matter of fact, was it even made available for people to read? Apart from people have to go buy it in a bookstore or buy it somewhere else. How many people had access to this document back in the day? That is another real question. All right, Derek, you're up. How many people had access to these things? Derek, Lawful, greetings. All right, Derek, not ready yet. All right, Andre, you're up. Right, how many would have comprehended it? That is a good question as well. Andre. As much people are touch them phone and a drive. All right, Mark Virus, you're up. Last one before we continue. Mark Virus.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Honestly, I don't even know how it's set off, but I guess me here, so I just talk and done.
All right.
The whole system is like a program and nonsense we are working under, you know? And most people not educated on that. They're more stuck on some illusion thing, and in reality nobody not really need it. They need gossip. Nobody not educate themselves for benefit, their freedom or a better life. You see what I say?
Yeah.
I just saw me see it. Cause for instance, you always talk facts, and you might be have 71 people under 100. I might go over, but look on people who talk gossip. Then get 10,000 like Jaja. But you know what I learned, you know? A joke.
Well, you have to remember, you know, the people with intelligence are going to be far and few in between.
For real.
So it is never going to be the masses of people who are going to be gravitating towards knowledge and intelligence.
And sometimes the government them feel really talk the truth to the public, you know, because we live under lie. And you see, a lot of people in our parliament then travel, then go other places, then see other things, and then come back and they act like they don't see anything, you understand?
Right.
And that's it. Kind of coming like we know, based on we teaching, we get teach so we came from Africa. Also, you have Chinese in Jamaica. And if a Chinese born in Jamaica, him is a Jamaican, but they are teaching about China. But we know them are teach about Europeans. So it don't really make much of a sense. They're supposed to teach where we come from. Then
Right.
Europe don't really care much about our skin color. You understand?
Right.
Everything just set under Europe way. And then, for instance, look on the China where they teach about China. You know, so they control the food in our country. You see, China, them a gossip. So black people, they need to think different, you know?
Right.
So we can elevate, you know?
Yeah, well, it have to start somewhere, you know.
Yeah, man, we really have to start somewhere. And as you just said, we independent, but we don't even independent. Cause we get one thing we call independent, and we still live in an American dream, you know? American
Right.
where we need visa for Cuba. We can maybe buy a ticket go Cuba. We get tricked by US media. So whole heap of thing need to look into, but people not really look into them things still. You see it. A few people are gonna really pay attention. But me really like what you do still, you see me? Cause you really educate a lot. I mean always watch your live and them things, you see me? Cause
Yeah, man.
sometimes knowledge is not too much, you know? Cause
Yeah,
knowledge we use navigate earth, you know?
exactly.
For real, man. Keep up your work still, brother. But that's what I say, I listen live, I be see mechanic, so me never too much in it. Me never make. I was watching you, but then me come off live and then me come back, so me never too much within the topic also, you know?
Okay, okay. All right. Well, big up yourself. Thanks for coming up and sharing the thoughts and the outlook, you know?
Yeah, man. I guess one of them day I go really watch, and then me might can call and talk more. You
Yeah.
understand? But
Yeah, man. Yeah,
honestly,
man.
me don't know my phone click. Me and when you say my virus and me look down and me like, right, the phone connect. Actually phone then I'm lap and me a drive. Thank God in a Jamaica me the way police are gonna pull me over and ticket me, you know. So we go through a lot of that thing, you know. It's
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
youth in the road at Jamaica, we is like a slave to it compared to overseas, you know.
Yeah.
With the Jamaica, we have to go through, we call it inspection, fitness, the road unsafe. You know, if you're the foreigner and a driver and you swing from a part two, no, not really, if you're a driver foreigner and you swing, police are going to pull you over. Jamaica is a thing where we do every day.
Right.
Yo, it's just, it government create challenge, me don't know, but you just say run by, you would have a governor general and would have a prime minister, we have mayor. And sometimes to me don't know. Me feel like, honestly, something needs to be organized and everybody does stand up one day for something, you know. If you go republic, or you go stand up and say, listen, we need change because here what? People suffer under a situation, brother. And we go through a lot. Me share one experience with me, right?
Yeah.
You know, me the overseas already on a drive. And me get a speed ticket, right? And me get a speed ticket. But me get a speed ticket, me never really read the fine print. But me know say deadline would be like the 10th of June, right?
Yeah.
When me realize say 10th of June and me go for pay a ticket, they send me a court. You know, so they send me a court. The first thing the judge asks me say if me employ or me unemployed. Me say me employ. So the judge asks me why me never pay a ticket. And based on the situation, me never weird. So the judge said, make sure next time you check it and pay a ticket. And the judge just send me a ticket base and me pay it. Alright, now, me in Jamaica, me a drive. Me the Montego Bay and a drive and me a carry a passenger. Just to give somebody a ride. You know them way there?
Yeah.
Alright, me a drive. First thing, where police then do wrong is like, me a drive on a lonely road and me see some whole heap of people in a road because normally traffic police always have vests. They're supposed to well lit at night. Him and them on them bike just hang off. So I'm so much people, so by the time if I slow down, they pull me over anyway. The passenger on this side never have on a seatbelt. So he said, I forgot to write me a ticket. Alright, he write me a ticket. Leave Montego Bay, went back to Kingston. Then in Kingston, I totally forgot about the ticket. So when I pull up the ticket, it date of a pay already passed. I mean, I tell you the truth, brother. So when I got a tax office, you see, people where government are pay for your information is just people where they in a tax office a face problem, educate me on what to do. When me go online and pull up, me lose the ticket actually. So me have to go online and pull up back a ticket. And when me pull up back a ticket and me go back to the tax office to pay, the cashier go tell me, say, watch out, next time I do this, me have to have a ticket. But anyway, me give her a number. When she pull up a ticket, she say, well, the date for pass, already pass. You have to go Mobi if you could. Like whatever date. So I say, right, $2,000 now, you know, for your seatbelt ticket, you know. So now they must send me back a Mobi, and I say, Jaja, so me there Kingston, figure a Mobi, you know, say that cost about 10 grand gas roughly. Anyway, me head out and head a Mobi. First thing I'm Mobi, me got a courthouse, me not have no parking. Good thing me and my brethren go. Me not have no parking. So anyway, me drop off at a courthouse and then give me car and say, oh, me a go in a court. Honest to God, I walk with 2 grand. Because I know say a 2 grand pan ticket. So when I walk with 2 grand and the judge call me up and say if me guilty for the ticket, me tell her, I say, well, honestly, it wasn't my ticket, it was a passenger. The judge turned to me and said that is my responsibility. I say, miss, honestly, me never aware, right? Because based on me not really live at Jamaica like that, so me not aware of that. She said 5 grand or a certain amount a day. So anyway, me have 2 grand in my pocket. And when me have 2 grand in my pocket, same time police escort me, you know, because I'm going to lock up, you know. And I have to call my brethren. And I call my brethren and say, yo, watch out. Looking at a car, you see, one of that 3 grand, car can't give me. But he never that close to the court, so you know, so I have to go in and lock up. Go sit down and wait for 3 more grand. And you see when the police car me go in and lock up, and the dude come out of the front now, say police carry me go out of the front. You know, say police are try to tell me, say, yo, a 6 grand the judge say. I mean, I say, squad, they go easy, man. Oh, you so cook it better. Remember, say, you work. And you try to extort people, you know. So, some of these things, it just really show me off based on if you travel, how things put in place for your citizens. You understand? Police have to approach you like, sir, this, that, police, that. It does. Jamaica need, the constitution need to rewrite. A lot of people go through a lot of things. And they go through it daily, brother. And all like people them in a society, even if you're a rich Jamaican and you go overseas and you're used to these things, and you might be can drive on the road and your status high, everybody feel have the same opportunity. You understand what I say, brother?
For real. For
Yeah,
real.
because if you oversee, it don't really matter your status, you know. Law is law, police is police. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So,
For real.
I share one little story still. Me get that off. I don't know if anybody ever been through that before, but
Yeah, man. I wonder if people go through that, man. Cause if you can't pay, you not come out.
yeah, whoa. Hey, imagine when there are certain things when me see happen where people are driving without insurance and it just says 60, 70,000, boy. They still gonna lock up hopeless, you know, but still, me think say traffic court is cashier. No, all of them judges unprofessional. This is not how they approach it, the public. First thing, if you come to pay a ticket, if you're the overseer, then they ask you how you want to pay. If you get a ticket overseas for $300, then you ask you, say, oh, you can pay. So you tell the judge, say, judge, you know, sir, me can pay. Based on your expense and everything, you can pay it in a tree. They approve it. But Jamaica, then just throw you in a cell, brother.
Yep.
Just imagine what you know, so what them dey on TikTok, you know. I mean I watch one brother, you know, saying get one ticket because he not have no indicator in him bumper. I mean like, come on. Some some car come with not indicator, reflector. He not no reflector in him bumper. So, you know, a whole propaganda spread on TikTok. So when me and my talk now, I want to show a ticket. So it's when the man show a ticket, me pause the screen, and make sure zoom me up for see, you know. I know say police ticket the man for don't have no reflector in a bumper, but if the bumper don't have an indicator, it go there within the light. So man they just to be a madness. So now if him go for contest the court, how the court I go say that? Once you
Well,
got traffic court in I just pay you go pay. So now as a poor man, he get a ticket for 5 grand. He must forget a lawyer because him can't talk. So the thing does oppress. It does oppress the poor. Because you see, man, You see, man, we having money, having lawyer. Police can, if police even give him the ticket, they ain't calling lawyer. One call and two and everything alright. So, he just oppress the poor.
Right.
Even what they watch one thing we go on a Chilani where people they always get licked down. Now I say, well, it's supposed to be like that because I guess it's supposed to have title, but still there are somebody come out and represent the government, and most people are gonna listen to her and believe in her. And the truth is, you cannot build upon a land where you don't have no title for her. Even a man saying spend like about 8-9 million, and he look down in the public because it's not supposed to be like that. So something need to put in place. Something really need to put in place. And the society I run all over the place. And everybody feel it in a worse way. Worse with the police, them we are bully, you know?
Right.
Police now have no respect. Me a drive a Jamaica, I'm there on Lonely Road. Police jump out for me in a middle road, be a gun, and right now, I don't think me that young, because I'm 42, so I guess me more up on the mature side. And I say, come on, squad, you're not so operate. First thing, you know, on public road. You're supposed to be on the vest, you can't hide off, and no special operation. I don't like saying you see a fugitive I come the way and hide off to catch me. Understand? All this is unprofessional.
Yep.
So we as Jamaican citizens, we get a lot of bully. Whole heap of bully, and me don't know how it go change or how it go put in place, but I wish more people can travel and then go up on the outside world and see how things is, you know? And I can tell you, most Jamaicans who travel, they really like Jamaica, you know? Jamaica is our home, but foreign sometimes difficult, but just the infrastructure and this thing is sometimes stuck here in a foreign, you know? Because just like me, as a citizen, if me I travel from point A to point B, me would do construction work. So if me there Jamaica do construction work, me I turn in a economy, me I pay police. And for me, a police are going to pull me over where police are not really no qualification because you're a security guard. You want respect for me. For what, bro? You're not producer, you're not engineer, you're not architect, so I'm not going to respect you. You understand what I say? They're supposed to respect you. Me the Jamaica already, and I say, police sit down for them bike. And taxi man I go give them water. Like, come on, police, are you forget taxi man the water because him a work in the economy and him a make money for pay you. So everything just twist. I don't know if you can understand what I say. You disagree or you agree.
Well, you see, me get what you say, you know. Me get what you say, but here we go. This is why I teach Panda platform, because you see a lot of them problems they we have a lack of knowledge.
For real.
A lack of knowledge, because me I gonna show you a flex. You see the same thing we you just described?
Yeah.
If you look on it from a different angle. Remember me don't know if you're there earlier when I explain. But the government, I know we make it, I know we institute it, I know we put the people in power, I know we do none of that. So, as somebody else system is a different family around Jamaica.
And you know what you say? You see what you say? You just talk it through, make everybody hear, but nobody now gonna see what you say. That's why I think you happen like that.
Right.
That's why it happen like that. That's why you see a police can just box on a citizen just like that.
Right.
Imagine the place where police then go bulldoze down and then arrest him man. Where you arrest him man? For you can't carry man in custody and the man not break no law. The man is a free man. It's just like me. If me there Jamaica and me a drive and a police a bully me, I tell him say no have no power over me. Me have to break the law. Me not go break the law because me no want to give no man no power over me. Understand? Because they don't have the law in place. And as they say, so I go. Me just work with it. So you no come bully me. You only tell you supposed to bully me if me break the law. One time I watch on TikTok, right? I mean don't know. It's like police stop one bus. The man then just move huggish. Police stop one bus, right? And like them I tell the bus man to come out. But human being can disobey. You lick out the glass, you take out the police. You lick out the glass, draw out the man out of the bus, put on the handcuff and throw him in the vehicle. What you beat the man for? You not got the power there because the man attack you. The only time a police is supposed to beat a man unless the man attack him. You lick out the glass, you draw out the man. What you beat the man for? And everybody see them thing there, then nobody not say nothing. If them not have a right for assault, you understand what I say?
Right.
You know, say if you're in your car, you disobey the police and the police say, watch out, me, I lick out your glass. You lick out your glass, he can draw you out and show you how going to handcuff you. You're not supposed to draw you out and start box and thump you. Some of them boy there, you see some of them boy there, me have to call them boy, professional and man, mature. Police will do their job, those are mature people. All of them boy, they will operate like that, them are boy. They need to go back to school because a man in a society, film police can't turn police. And I see a little ghetto man then get a little opportunity. Them are hype on each other. You understand where I come from?
Right.
Anyway, you have a man from uptown, you think his son can come tell him about him turn police. It's like they bottom my food chain and they still want to be top. Come on, man. If they travel, then realize that. Cause even me there Jamaican police pull me over already. Me see about 6 police. And me ask for a supervisor there. Them a show me a supervisor. Look like he even have 1 year in 1 year. He no look like he have 1 year in a police force because he carry more about 22. Oh, we have so much little pitney here up and down on the street with them 16. You need to have a supervisor with them. Wrong or right?
You should, but again,
Every police will deploy supposed to have a mature person there. You cannot have some 25-year-old and some 26 years old because they're young, they're immature.
but let me ask you a question now.
Yeah.
Now, morally speaking, we know say younger people have more irrational nature.
Yeah.
Them not stable in the mindset. Them not mature yet past certain experiences we can do certain things effectively.
Yeah.
But we not have no say in it.
Them have to do better though, you know. Them have to really do better. Even me see this debate thing about body cam. Brother, everywhere in the world I use body cam. Cause me tell you this, if they oversee and a police shoot you and people start riot, them and release the footage. Jamaica police just shoot you and they release nothing. And it's China man I can't tell you about red light, this pan camera, police can operate with. Every police I use camera these days. So it's like the camera is the truth. And I can tell you this, as a Jamaican citizen, if a police come at one house for a man and in display a gun and discharge it of a police and in dead, not even mother now complain. Wrong or right?
For real?
And you a man shoot at the police and the police shoot him. Nobody now complain. But him and then just come and shoot at them and write the report. A modern day we now we can't make people write stuff. Everybody where police kill they're supposed to have the footage. And everybody just lie down at them bed and take it okay like that. It world work like that, brother. Everything. If you are drive, let me show you something. If you are driver foreign right now, police are run your license plate. Jamaica supposed to have a system. Camera, everything did it. Jamaica, me don't know, they don't use no camera then. Boy.
Them use
I
camera
can't tell
now.
you. You see money?
They use
They
camera,
have a
but
camera, but they not use it. You don't have to tell me that.
right.
They have it, but they not use it. Even money where government would have used, put in place a ticket machine. Well, a ticket bill revenue, but the camera very important to us. Just imagine that. Jamaica is best here, man. Jamaica only police. Jamaica only country me see one police get in throat cut. I didn't say a man. When they say a suicidal, me don't know. They always come up with something we just can't understand because we can't understand a man hang himself. We can't understand how a man cut in throat. So Jamaica thing I like a movie, man. Like a movie, but something need to put in place. And sometimes me even think too, you know. You see, when we go back to slavery, black people used to get it a lot. No lie about that. Me wasn't there, but based on history, we used to get it a lot. But right now, can't tell a man, I don't know if much Jamaican looking at it. From 1962 till now. Every innocent boy or girl where police shoot that a Jamaica response for that. You'd just like if you're the America, the white police he shoot down a black man, but he not shoot down film kind. In a Jamaica like our kind of bully our kind. It does The people then confused. Because I just saw me there at Jamaica already and police are bullying me and about me. If I say, come on, bro, me I like your black brother, and you know, I'm supposed to feel happy when a Jamaica police pull me over. And I like me there in one country with white police where they have something against black man. Just imagine the black man, your
So
black
you
brother.
feel?
Yeah, but
Yes,
your
sir.
black brother. How them a deal with? Yo, a real thing, yeah, man. So sometimes we just chew up, you know? Because all that we are
Yeah,
one.
man.
We are one. You know? We're supposed
Well,
to happy.
sometime in a peacetime that go on, but it don't look like we're in a peace right now.
You're right, man. You're
I
right.
think we're in a peace.
Yeah.
But yeah, me have to finish up on that topic here still, so big up yourself,
All right.
same
Big
way.
up,
Thanks
brother.
for sharing.
Big up. Take care. Take care.
Yeah,
We
man,
can
cool.
cut you off. We never really know if we cut you off.
Cool. All right, peeps. Yeah, you know, we have certain realities we are going, but while we recognize some of the things that we don't agree with, right? We have to look towards what we can do to alleviate that problem and come up with some solutions. So that is the reason why I teach much of this history in the evenings and sharing the factual representations of what we're talking about and why we need to know what really are going on. And I realize again, a lot of people don't have the attention span, but if you pay attention, we can get some of the knowledge at the foundation level so that when time we start institute some of these changes, we know exactly why we are institute them. Now I'm going to share an unpopular opinion. A matter of fact, I shared something with someone today. We talked about this before, but I am going to show you something when it comes to government because that is the topic today. What is government? Right? So a few months ago, I shared with you the Constitution of the state of Georgia in the United States. The first constitution after the Declaration of Independence for the state of Georgia. I'm going to show you it again. A matter of fact, I have a question for everybody who are listening right now. If all I want to on the live right now, where you can type, right? If all I want had the chance to fix the system right now, what would you do to fix the system? Or would you get rid of it? What would you put in place? What you think can fix the problem then what we have right now? Drop it in the chat. All right, Roger, you're up. Actually, no, so the Constitution is the solution. All right, Septi, if you're still there. Nope, Septi gone. All right, Rise of the Phoenix, you're up. A new system, the old one can be saved like Christian. Pop the old system and throw it away. The new Constitution, okay. Firstly, become truly independent and then launch the Constitution. All right. Accountability. Politicians can go prison to pass law that affect people in a negative way, like what they did during COVID. Okay. Okay. So, let me show you something. This is part of the University of Georgia. It's a school of law. The skin designer say revamp the system completely and make rules law that make being a Jamaican feel like a privilege. Get rid of the corruption. Something completely new. The old one is no good. Okay. All right. Now, this question I'm ask is directly related to the first constitution of Georgia, because when Dr. Fauci exposed that it was all about money and our government not give back people money. So, all the things the government and the upper are doing are prescribed in the current order and council. Exactly. So when we look at a document like this, right? This is an archival document, right? And we look at the very first constitution here. It is quite interesting, you know, because not only is it the first constitution, they are going through the exact same thing that we are going through today. Them have a problem with how the government are run. That is simply, in all societies that have changes, it is always a problem with the government. It is never a problem with your neighbor. It is never a problem with foreigners. It is never a problem with anything on the outside. It is like an infection on the inside. Now, this document is only, the constitution, the first constitution is only 10 pages long. Only 10 pages long. Now, I found this to be rather interesting, you know, not because of its size, but because of what it says. We'll go down to the last page. Very last page. And here it says, this constitution, how altered. It will give you the instructions on how this constitution can be altered lawfully. Right? It says, no alteration shall be made in this constitution without petitions from a majority of the counties. You know, we have 3 counties of Jamaica, Middlesex, Surrey, and Cornwall. Them have counties in all of the states in America. Right? So you need petition from the counties. Mean the people them were in them place here. And the petitions from each county to be signed by a majority of the voters in each county within the state. So the voter them have to sign the petition, at which time the assembly shall order a convention to be called for that purpose. So the people them who in a what we call parliament, that is the only time they would convene, specifying the alterations to be made according to the petitions preferred to the assembly by the majority of the counties aforesaid. So basically what they must say is what? Them no trust government. That is basically what this I say. Well, all of the power, it's the same like how free new constitution what we draft has to be modified by the people. This is what them did I say back in 1777. I go back up here so I show you. Back in 1777. 400 years ago. Almost. The people they never trust government. Them never trust the lawyer them. Them not trust the people them were in a Congress. Them not trust the people them in a parliament. Them not trust nobody were in a governmental power to make law. This was the only law at the time, you know. This one document. And you know what happened after that? The same exact thing what we just discussed. Them start civil war. Them start other things to distract the people them from what they on paper. The same thing with the constitution, what we call the Constitution of Jamaica, the Order in Council 1962. Them pass the constitution, then everybody get distracted. Nobody not gonna read that. And again, the question is, if even 10 people read it, what would they do? How them would I get anything done? Skin designers say we should have a law like that. Only the people should be able to make laws by consensus. That is how our constitution is set up. I'm not talking about the one we're in a parliament, you know. I talk about the one where we just finished writing. This is why the education is coming after. But for those of you who may not know how to get to the constitution that was written by we the people, you go to voiceofjamaica.com. On voiceofjamaica.com, you click on New Constitution. And when you click on New Constitution, the constitutional draft is right here. So this is the constitutional draft that we the people have put together. Right? So you can go and you can see our unanimous declaration of independence of the people of Jamaica. And no, the name is not spelled wrong, for those who are wondering. This is what we would call the nation going forward. Right? And then when you scroll down, you have the rest of the Constitution. This one document would be our entire body of law. So we already did this. We already created a people-centric government in this Constitution. It is just not enacted as yet. Right? I always say, knowledge first. So, when we talk about how can we comprehend what happened in the past and don't make the same mistake what they make, how can we solidify when we have changes that happen that are monumental like this? How do we keep it from being modified? What does it take for it to be applied? Very simple process. But that is for stage 3. We are at stage 2. Stage 2 is education and awareness. That is why I am here teaching on this platform. We don't need 100 million people. We only need a few people. You see, the same way like how you have the few people them who run things. You have a few people in court. You have a few people in parliament. You have a few people in this, a few people in that. You don't need everybody for you run things. We need a few competently educated people. So that when things go in place, intelligent and proper people take proper positions. Qualified people. Right? So, as we talk about government, let us talk about another aspect that many people don't realize. There is a part of history that is not discussed. Scientists, greetings, lawful. There's a part of history that was not discussed, and I'm going to talk about it right now. You see, before colonialism, there was no such thing as a big body of land called a country. Let me say that again. See, before the idea of colonialism, you had the names of places, but there was no such thing as countries. You know why Jamaica have 3 counties? Does anybody know why Jamaica have 3 counties, but you don't know their purpose? Why? Drop it in the chat. Why does Jamaica have 3 counties? Nobody? You see, it is interesting because, like we said before, this is not new to us. We are reawakening. So you see, sometimes when you hear me talk about certain things, what going to happen is you're going to feel the activation. So you're just remembering. Just remember that. The bloodline where you have, all I am doing is refreshing your memory. So just stick around. Tash say the counties were boundaries. Correct. But you have to be more specific. You see, there was no such thing as one big happy family. Because we know say people always are gonna have difference of opinion. And this goes back to what we did teach the white people them before them start the EFRI. Exactly right. You had what is called counties because they were completely separate jurisdictions. They had a government. Literally, you had a government in each county. So if you want to live a certain type of way, you go to the county that matches your interest. If you want to live another way, you go into the county that matches that interest, etc. It was supposed to be independently separated political powers. But they don't talk about that none at all in Jamaican history. They just talked about we have 3 counties. I bet you cannot find one bit of material on that. They will not discuss it. And this is the reason why. If the crown was going to be effective, it cannot have people who have free will in one place and people who are under their control in another. Let me say that again. If the crown is going to exercise its control, it cannot have free-thinking people so close to its empire. So I hope this kind of sheds some more light on why you have these wars. Why you had things like the Maroon War. It is not that them couldn't left them alone with a little piece of land with them have up there, so. It is because if people don't have to work day in and day out to live, if they can only go cultivate their farm when they need to, if they can only bring out their animals when they need to, if they can go fishing and go relaxing for the rest of the day, then how are you going to have a society of an economy? How are you going to have a society of workers and people who want to have a better life? How are you going to have factories? How are you going to have all of these things that when you get them, you still feel empty? How? If people can just move and go to one next place, what them no want have all of them pressures there? Let's say we don't want one Benz, we just want one Honda. We just want one like a Toyota. Why can't we just have that? Why we have to aim for Range Rover, Benz, Lexus? Why we need that? Exactly. They have to destroy this idea of a paradise on earth. They have to destroy this idea of you don't need to wait until you're dead to go to heaven. So when you destroy that, it makes sense business-wise to do that. Because if people can just go about their business and you know have no influence over them, who is going to voluntarily stay in a place where they don't have to? Where you lose rest, you're beaten, you are put to work in unsafe and unsanitary conditions and all of them, something that you are forced to labor away all the days of your life. Why would you choose that over living in a one simple house and eating whatever you want to and doing whatever you want? It's not wrong to have a Range Rover, but is it right to force someone to go get one? Is it right to force someone to work until you can afford one? That is the question. So when you have things like the 99-year Maroon War, when you had things like the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship, because certain people realize that you can't war with black people and win. Let me say that again. You see, all of those treaties that you hear about, them sign treaty here, treaty there. For those of you who are into history, it's when you hear them sign treaty, a treaty is signed by the loser. It is proposed by the loser of a war. And when the loser lose a war, they typically have to pay to stop their destruction. Because think about it. Why would you be winning a war and want a peace treaty? It don't make no sense, neither logically nor strategically. If you win a war, you dominate your enemy. That's it. You're not asked for peace and friendship. You start big friend. It's just like somebody a fling big stone off of you and you come out with your peace. And you bust one off of him. What you gonna do? Tell him if you sign one treaty of peace and friendship so you not fling no more stone over your yard? Or you go and tell him say you got bust a cap in him? Come on now. Which one makes sense? So when you hear and see certain stories, you have to use your everyday, today reality to test it, to see if it makes sense. Let me give you an example now. Let's say we still had those 3 counties. We had those 3 counties and we had 3 separate governments instituted in those counties. One where people basically do certain things. One where people can practice just religious things what they want. And one next one where known for whatever. Wouldn't that make a lot of sense? So that you know have one big whole society where everybody mix up in a one. And if somebody no want do certain practices or they want practice a certain way, them not get affected by other people who don't want that. None of the county them would be empty. I can guarantee that. You see, when time people can't even make decisions on water, what everybody want, that make me know for sure say, nowhere on earth would be empty. Even if we actually had smaller areas called counties where a specific set of people did it so. Maybe you wouldn't be there. Maybe a lot of people won't be in a specific county, but other people would go there. You have people who believe, say, I mean, look at all of these cults and all these different organizations, these churches, we tell people if you sell them belongings, because God soon come. Give away them belongings, God soon come. People who believe, say, if they take one certain substance, all of them are going to end up in one different place. A lot of, there are people like that who want the inner them own community. I mean, it literally happened with you. Where the pastor tell people, say, the end of days are come, so people need to sell off them things and get ready to go up in the sky. Imagine that. Imagine. Anyways, I'm not upon that right now. But if we actually had a Jamaica that was truly separated based on the interests of the people, like would I have, you know, religious on one side, you want to practice just religion and do your thing, fine. Over there, so you do that. If people want to practice them spirituality and whatever, whatever the interests are, I just use it as a basic example, right? The place would have been better. Stop fudge everybody together. It's like you take up one mud and you put marble in it, you put stone, you put fish, you put apple, you put it just. If everybody who have an interest in one place, it is better. Imagine somebody hates somebody because whatever. He might practice one religion or he might do certain things. Make them go live by themselves. Make them, all of them who believe that, stay over here so. Simple. You no bother nobody, nobody no bother you. You not see them people here, you not interact with them people here, them people not interact with you and interact with. Problem solved. No, it does not. The new constitution does not dictate how we would create borders, if that would even be a thing. Right? Again, that would be very disruptive to society to start out. Right? But at the same time, if we make certain things a priority, then it is possible. It is absolutely possible. Right? But that is one of the reasons why the current and the previous government did not want that to happen. They don't want no part of no country to be so-called free, because then that would undermine what they were trying to do, which is basically exercise control over the entire island. So if them exercise control over the entire island, that means say, if them decide say, all right, everybody have to go to bed 8 o'clock, what happened? You see how that work? Why would we want a governmental system that can control our civil life, control our private life, control how we live our life? The government is simply supposed to be there to work for the people. When we talk about a people-style government, a colonial government is different, because the colonial government, you are basically doing things to benefit the crown or benefit the colonial government itself. But when we talk about a people-style government, it is completely different. The people simply are hiring people to do the job that they don't want to do. Nobody wants to be delegating and, coming up with all these qualifications and whatever. Who wants to do that except for people who specifically have that headpiece for go in and know how to delegate, know how to run this kind of government office, or know how to run this kind of business or whatever. You put them in place to do specifically that, right? That's why you hire people. That's why you put infrastructure in place for certain things. With this new native constitution, do we have a new flag, a new pledge, a new anthem, etc.? No, not necessarily. We do have a flag. A flag is there, but that is not going to be introduced until later. Stage 3. Stage 3, when we start talking about certain things. Now, we can't get into it just yet. But some of those things are there. Some of them are going to be eliminated because they were just simply British constructs of war. Like the coat of arms is actually a war symbol. So some of that has changed. Yeah. So again, just because we have a government system, that don't mean say everybody should be mixed up and mingled up. That is how we start having a lot of crime and violence, because people disagree based on interests. Exactly. And once we have our government in place by instituting our own constitution, again, and I'll say this again for those who are still here, the implementation of it is not hard. We don't need violence, we don't need war, we don't need... And again, let me put my disclaimer at the end, because I don't have much time. This channel and this discussion is not about overthrowing the government. This is not about any kind of violence. This is not about combating the government or the police. This is not about inciting violence. This is not legal advice. This is none of them something there. So we just make it clear. We not plan for going to parliament. We not plan for going no government building. We not plan nothing like that. We no business boat wagwan in a funo house. Because I know when I watch, I know when I take notes. But when I get no more notes for go thief. Right? Because when I discuss much about in the constitutional draft. Wait, to get too big for when I start bringing it into the news and them place there. It's still there, man. Look, I can go find it. So, exactly, just lawfulness. We are not here to tell you no or try to force you to do anything. Okay? So, at the end of the day, this is a peaceful endeavor. This is a peaceful gathering. This is a peaceful endeavor. And as always, most people should know by now, the pen is mightier than the sword. There's a reason that was said, and it is still true today. The pen is mightier than the sword. Just keep that in mind. Remember, I said it as well. The pen is mightier than the sword. That is how things are done in this day and age. All right? So, one last thing, because I mentioned this before and people still don't realize it. Lands that are not registered are not crown lands. Let me say that again. Let me say it for the people in the back. Let me say it for the people who keep on not hear what I say. Lands that are not registered, where you not pay tax for, when you're in the system, them they are no crown land. Exactly, High Chief. You can call them ancestral land, you can call them private land, you can call them people land. You see, the moment you go register one land, it now becomes an estate. I can't get into everything right here, so I can't explain the full thing to you right now. If you don't know what an estate is, I can't help you right now. Just understand what I say. You see, people who live on land where there is no owner, it no register, it no in the tax system, it is not government property, it is not an estate, and it cannot be administered. But it can get you a fight. If you want a detailed discussion on this, you have to come to class. These are no class. These are the basics. These are no class. These are the, imagine all of what discuss whenever I am live. You think said this, a whole heap of information. Tell the people I'm in a class. Well, if you ever decide to come to class, let me show you. It is also on my page, you know. You can go up here so to my profile, and it has the website link on there. You can go and sign up on the signatories page. Right? Kem, lawful greetings. So for those of you who are wondering, how do you come to class? Before you do that, for those of you who want to break the ancestral curses, the generational curses, all of those things holding your bloodline back, you can go to voiceofjamaica.com and click on my voice. Here you have the instructions on removing all of those contracts and all of those negative things the people them in your family possibly get themselves in. Okay? Again, you go to voiceofjamaica.com and you click on my voice and you have the instructions there. This allows you to release your ancestors from the contracts that they can no longer get themselves out of. All right? So for those of you who want to come to class, we're going to talk about, or if you want to learn about land matters and other deep topics, in the menu you have signatories. You can click on signatories. And here you will have the form that you can fill out and you can become a signatory. Okay? That is if you want actual deep knowledge about some of these topics. So once you register land, that is when you start paying a fee. Right, thanks for the reminder, remote tours. Voiceofjamaica.com and everything associated with it is without a fee. We don't charge any fee. We don't sell anything. The courses are not for any kind of monetary value. It is 100% free. And I am sure you will hear from the other people who are in the private groups. You can ask any questions you want. They can tell you how interesting class gets. This is just the basics. We can't get into a lot here. But anyways, that is all we have for tonight. We will continue on Sunday. So big up on yourself. Lawful, always. Good night.